What's up, junkies? Welcome back in for another edition of Pigskin Junkies. Myself, Michael Larson, the big brother, Jerry Larson. Scott Panza here to recap the weekend of football that it was.
Football.
Some good games for college this weekend, some marquee matchups, and then NFL. I felt like there were some pretty good games on today, except for if you woke up and watched Jameis Winston do what Jameis Winston does best, I feel bad for you. Because that guy...
6 turnovers.
Oh, it was beautiful to watch. It was the highlight of the day, watching Jameis just throw all those interceptions all over the field. It was just a thing of beauty, and getting sacked like crazy. And Bruce Arians making some real bonehead decisions out there. He kicked a field goal to make a 3-score game remain a 3-score game late in the game, and then both offenses just went wild, and it ended smoking the over.
I was driving back from Tampa this morning, and I heard Peter Schrager on the radio mention Byron Leftwich's name as potential candidate for the Washington Redskins opening. I'm like, what? Have you been watching what they're doing, dude? Do you have eyes? Why would he get a head coaching job? Can't even coordinate an offense. Jameis is out. Mariota out.
Mariota
later
has to be just donezo after today. Yeah. And now, don't forget Josh Rosen back to the bench. Fitzmagic led the charge back to get the nice backdoor cover, go for 2, not get it, which is just perfect for them. Fought, covered, lost, still in first in the Tua sweepstakes.
And
also, when is Ryan Finley going to start for the Bengals? Because Andy Dalton's got to be on the way out.
Got to be soon. There was, a pretty seminal week this week in terms of understanding where teams are. I feel like I picked up a lot of good data points. I don't know that we had the greatest results in the world. I still have Chargers pending in my Circa entry, but I feel like I know a lot more about a lot of these teams.
I feel like I know less. Just 2 weeks ago, I was ready to say I'd rather have Gardner Minshew lead my team than Kirk Cousins, and then Kirk Cousins bombs out 4 touchdowns.
1 o'clock slot. 1 o'clock slot.
I know, but Jacksonville at home. That's a good spot for them, and just pitch that. Yeah, this is a bloodbath weekend. Just and it couldn't have started any better.
You have been just eating crow on the fade Teddy Bridgewater train.
I know. I mean, it's going the same way of my Chris Godwin fade in fantasy. It's just blowing up in my face so hard.
It's gonna happen if you take a stance. I mean, you're not gonna get everything right.
Well, why not?
What?
100%.
That's why people listen to us, because we're always right.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot. What else from the NFL?
Cowboys.
The Jets with Sam Darnold. Are they legitimate? They almost should. I would say probably should have beat the Bills.
They totally pitched that game. I was thrilled to see it. I mean, they have Monday Nighter with all this momentum from this game, with the Pats coming to town and a beat-up Pats team. So let's see how for real they are. But Jared, do you buy this take right now that with Luke Falk they showed nothing in the playbook, just left them out to dry, just tried to lose and waiting for Darnold to come back?
I heard Cowturd say that on his Saturday podcast.
Yeah,
I'm like, he's pulling this out of thin air. I saw it with Brian Flores today. I refuse to believe that these guys are in. No NFL head coach is intentionally losing games. I refuse to believe that. Today was the synthesis of it. Now, can you make a decision here or there that will push you towards losing? Yes, but I mean, saying that you're not going to call certain plays or have it plays in the playbook, effectively says we're trying to lose this game. Do I think that he's going to run a draw on a 3rd and 20 with Luke Falk? Yes, and just say punt. Like, don't trip over our own whats. Where with Darnold, he'll probably let it rip a little bit more often, but no, I don't necessarily buy that narrative. He's just not any good. Luke Falk's just not any good. Didn't they cut him?
Yeah, they cut him today. What a well, I'll see you in the XFL, Luke Falk, second stringer.
I was gonna say we'll see you later, Luke Falk.
Yeah. No shot he gets another legit opportunity in the NFL.
Scott, still no email back from XFL?
Still no email back from the XFL.
Definitely
What
not
the
from
hell?
the American football, whatever.
Oh, the AAF?
Yeah.
Yeah, them too.
They
But yeah,
wanted
we're
some-
waiting on the XFL rule book as well right now. I know they're going to get funky with the rule book. But
What's up?
What else? Our guy Dangerous, just getting it done. Seahawks 5-1.
yeah, I mean, that line was just moving all day. It was swung all the way back to the Browns favored this morning. And, you know, the sports betting Twitter was like, oh, all the sharps are on the Browns. This is the spot. And then Russell Wilson does Russell Wilson things. That was a great game. Great game for them to pull that one out because the Cleveland got up on them early and they really fought back. So really, really impressive win there. And really impressive. Yeah, I whiffed so hard on the Chiefs today. Whiffing on the Texans this season because they went down 17-3 and fought right back 20 points in the second quarter. Took advantage of some mistakes. There was they were talking about on the NBC show tonight about one of the penalty calls in that game where Travis Kelce was just held down and Mahomes thought he was getting a flag, chucked it up, and turned it into an interception, and then they picked up the flag. So rough one, I'm sure, for Chiefs fans to swallow, but
Two
really
L's in a
impressive
row.
Texans. Really, 2 L's in a row. So now the Pats are just free and clear in the AFC for home field, unless the Buffalo Bills have something to say about it.
Hey-o.
And I guess the second best team, or maybe the best team in the NFL, is the San Francisco 49ers. Just defense showed up today, gave up one touchdown in the first quarter, and that was it, and rolled to a 20-7 win.
I will say I do like what Richard Sherman said after last week's game, where he was like, "No, like don't get on our bandwagon now. I don't want you." And I like that attitude of like, "No, you guys didn't think we were going to be jack squat, and here we are. Like, don't start giving us praise now. I don't want it." And I like that.
But I don't know. I feel like these athletes make up this motivation of it's us against the world. Nobody respected us. Like their win total was 9.5, I think, or 9. So like, obviously somebody somewhere thought that they were probably going to be pretty good and maybe contend in that division. Now that division is loaded, but yeah, I don't. Yeah.
It's already been proven.
I'm
that
not a huge fan of that argument from athletes.
Sherman has already been proven to be a compulsive liar. I mean, he got caught last week. So
Any way you can get an edge for yourself, you got to take advantage.
exactly
Right, and that's I feel like it's a fugazi.
It's a fugazi. It's a whoozy. It's a whatsy.
Fugazi.
Oh, good one.
How much longer does Dan Quinn have a job?
None.
He should be fired tonight. He should get the 5 a.m. Jay Gruden treatment and then fired tomorrow morning because that was pathetic. And talk about just the tenor of the day. Matt Bryant missing an extra point for the L today. Just really encapsulated how the day went for the big guy over here. Just disaster.
I just don't know how you give up 34 points to the Cardinals.
I know.
Did you see
Like,
Matt
come on.
Ryan's stat line? I think he was 30 of 36.
30 of 36, 356 yards, 4 touchdowns,
No
lost.
picks. L. Your head
Wild.
coach is a
Because the
defensive
defense
guru.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're exactly.
Brutal.
Yeah, I'm impressed by the 49ers. I would say that I've been wrong about them. I didn't have them, so sorry to take it back one step. But yeah, from everything that I read, I didn't see a whole lot of the game, but everything that I've read is complete domination by the 49ers. This is Super Bowl hangover for the Rams, I think. I'm hoping that McVay, I think I said it before we went on air, I hope that McVay's not getting fat and happy with his hot new fiance and sick new pad and fat contract, and you probably say the same about Jared Goff. So I'm concerned for this Rams team because the defense is old. Roster on the defensive side of the ball is old. So hopefully they can squeeze out and get the ship righted because they're fun to watch.
Is he wanting to go back to Washington?
No way.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I can't.
I don't think his fiance is going to want to live in Washington when she's living in LA right now.
Yeah.
I was gonna
They get
say,
a
what's
brand
the
new
number?
Stadium.
15 a year.
Hey, honey, I know you.
I can't wait to see who takes that job.
Gross. It's still insane, isn't? What's his name? Gibbs? Isn't he still the only coach to have a winning record there? in his tenure.
With Dan Snyder.
Since Snyder, yes.
That's unbelievable.
I mean,
Painful.
obviously, they won Super Bowls before Dan Snyder became the owner of the team.
Oh yeah, that running. I wish I had that in front of me, but that is honestly worthy of the Browns quarterback jersey. Like his run with head coaches, I think is getting to that level of
It's terrible.
just brutal.
Shows you it's not the head coaches.
Right.
Shows you it's not the coaches. It's a systemic issue.
Yeah. Starts from the bottom. Or, excuse me, from the top. Started from the bottom.
Started from the bottom.
Now we're here. But so
Kirky,
speaking of starting
in the 1 p.m. slot.
yeah,
Micah, you going to talk about the Vikings? They scored 38
Oh, yeah.
points.
I don't want to blow off too
Time
much,
for you
but
to gush.
I'm happy. I'm just recording this without video, so these guys can't see how big of a smile is on my face. But it was one of those games that, and Jared, you'll remember this, but when the Vikings got smacked by the Giants in the early I can't remember what year, like
2001
One.
playoffs.
against the Giants in the NFC Championship game. Then they played the Giants in the Metrodome the next year and actually just gave them a hurting. And this kind of had that same vibe going into it. The Eagles started crawling back, and there was a big response from old Kirky and the Vikings with a nice drive to extend the lead back to 14. But overall, I thought it was a really good game. Carson Wentz makes it really hard to play defense when you got a guy who can run around for extend a play 8 to 12 seconds. But overall, I was very confused by the fake field goal attempt. And then there were just a couple plays Philly went with that were a little confusing for me. But overall, I was happy with Russ for over 100 yards against the Eagles. Kept that going. Dalvin Cook looked good. Overall, I thought it was just a good team effort. I'm happy about it. Kirk, even the Vikings Twitter page was getting in on the action. They posted a picture of Kirk with his stat line and said weakest link on the offense or something.
Yeah,
So
I
there
saw
we
that.
go.
That was good.
Yeah. So, I mean, Go ahead, Jared.
He got shell shocked by Nigel Bradham in like the third quarter.
Yeah. He did.
And I thought for sure he was going to die, but he stayed in the game.
Yeah, they played that one in slow mo, and you just saw him like the hit just like reverb through his entire body. You're like, oh boy.
See his face, like, eh.
Hey, so we only had one sack that game, but when he saw the hit coming, I saw two hands on the football, tuck and fall. The old Peyton Manning and Tom Brady special. Just like you're not getting
Unreal.
the football. It's fine. So I liked that. Take it. I'm okay with it. But speaking of being at the bottom and then coming back to the top, I was back on the wagon this weekend in my picks, boys. I felt pretty good about it. Did you guys have Wonka Vaders? Did you guys hit on your Wonkas?
Nope, missed. Titans total
What
with
was my Wonka Vader?
Rams with.
Jeez, whiff. 0-2.
Ooh.
Good thing
Yeah.
Micah didn't go. Otherwise, it'd been 0-3. Because we didn't have the gift.
Yeah.
What the hell?
we need the GIF with the noise. That's what we need.
I
Oh,
like
that's
the
what
one
we
I
can
sent
do.
you
That was the
guys.
poll we were supposed to do.
That's
Remember when
right.
we were asking
Yeah.
about that?
That's true.
That's right. We forgot
I have to write this down.
Yeah, so I had
Poll coming, forthcoming.
Yeah.
Get your votes ready.
Maybe save it for next week when people aren't angry at us for giving them losers this weekend.
So yeah, I had Wisconsin minus 10.5, and then the under of 40.5, and
I can't believe you hit both of those.
I was gonna be
Literally hit
happy
this.
with
It was
just one.
like 37-0. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and like I was saying before we started recording, Michigan State was driving, and I'm like, son of a gun, they're gonna just squeak in points late with 10 seconds to go, just a prideless touchdown, and I'm gonna lose this. And next thing I see on my page is interception, Wisconsin. I was like, oh, I started freaking out. It was great. So the Wonka Vader hit. That was the first time I ever said a Wonka Vader. But Jared getting now on the scoreboard, it's 3-1 now in head-to-head matchups. Jared taking taking Miami -2, which Virginia was covering until what? Like,
False. Miami was up 7-0 the whole first half.
okay,
Most-
but in the second half, when you guys they took the spread back with what, like 30 seconds?
No, I was sleeping, but I think it was a couple minutes.
Okay. Either way, it was right there. It was like
Miami
9-10 for forever. Cash it.
Cha-ching. Cha-ching. Cha-ching.
I blame the Iowa loss on those ferocious uniforms they decided to wear for that
Those
game.
were disgusting.
Yeah, that's like, why? I don't understand. And I text both of you, and Scott, you were in on this, but I was like, this is the most Joe Public bet, I think, of the entire weekend. Iowa plus 3.5 at home, and they were covering, and then Penn State
They
wins
almost did it.
half.
And they just didn't get that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, brutal. And then Iowa State took care of business.
Easy. That was
And
easy.
Minnesota also easy money against Nebraska.
Oh, jeez.
Scott Frost is just like reeling.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Your 6-0 Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Hey, well,
Big Ten West co-leaders.
Whoa.
still got Iowa,
Wild.
Northwestern, which they aren't very good, but still.
No. Yeah, what is it? State University of New Jersey, then Maryland, then it's like Penn State, Iowa, and Wisconsin all in a row.
Yeah.
They haven't beat anybody. They play in the Big Ten West. There's nobody there. All of their games are in November, all the big ones.
I'll take the back heavy. I'd rather that than the season be over early.
Well, and I think Wisconsin's got to play Ohio State. They'll probably lose. And it's teeing up to where you're going to have your rivalry game for the Axe for the Big Ten West, which is really
insane.
what you hope for.
Yeah.
You want to play your rival for the conference or the division, in this case, championship.
Who's
No
the
different
rival? Iowa?
Well, Iowa and Wisconsin. This is the
Iowa,
Big Ten
Wisconsin,
where you
both.
have a trophy for every game, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Scott's the Patriots play the Jets usually on week 17, but it's already well settled by the time that rolls around. Everything's already well in the bag.
Well, the funniest part, too, with the Gophers right now being 6-0 is everyone's like, wait, we're bowl eligible. It's October 12th. What's going on? So that's been fun.
I can't remember the last time they were 6-0.
They haven't been 6-0 since the 40s. That's why.
Jeez. Okay. That would
think.
make sense why I can't
no.
remember it.
Sorry, 2003. They haven't been on an 8-game winning streak, which is what they are on now, since the 40s.
Which they should hit again because, like I said, they're playing Rutgers, who's a dumpster fire, and then Maryland as well. All right, so I had 5 picks, 3-2. Miami on Friday night, winner. Eastern Michigan just couldn't peel themselves up off the mat. No scoring in the fourth quarter. Wound up losing that game. Game number 3, Iowa State. A little choppy out of the blocks. First half, not great, but then came to play in Morgantown in the second half. Wound up easily covering. A lot of neck played in Baton Rouge on Saturday night. 42 points. That was what I called. Actually, I said 42 or 45. I am candidly surprised that Florida was able to stick with them scoring in the first half, and were able to get to 28. Still didn't cover the 13 and a hook. But, I think it was a terrible call at the game. That roughing the passer was horrible, and then had to sweat it out there. Florida trying to jam in the touchdown. So I was letting all the Gator fans in the Tampa bars know it last night about how I was on LSU and they were getting clowned on. And then second loser was Arizona, so Arizona led outright at half. Then they were down 27-20 at the start of the fourth quarter, and they lost by like 30. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but they just got boat raced in the fourth quarter. And we're in it for most of the game. And then Pac-12 After Dark happened, and Kevin Sumlin, the rock star, decided to give it all away. So 3-2 on the week, cashing tickets. I did wind up betting Oklahoma because we were with some buddies, as I mentioned before, and I know that was in gun to the head section, and really felt like they should have covered that number. Dominated the game, in my opinion. Outgained, out first down. I mean, just if you look at the stat sheet, you would have guessed that Oklahoma won by 30, not by a touchdown.
Yeah, so quick gun to your head recap. Jared and I both going 2-2. Brad going 3-1. Because Brad was the only one with the stones to take Tejas. And Alabama covered, and then LSU, obviously. So
And Clemson, which
we didn't do the Clemson on the gun to your head. But that was just
Well,
an absolute.
we knew Brad was taking Clemson.
Yeah.
I mean, very chalky. It's been a very public season so far.
Yeah.
On the college side, which is why I feel like I just haven't been able to get it going. But you look at teams are covering these huge numbers. Clemson covering, Alabama covering, LSU covering. All of these monster favorites just continue to get it done. It's quite frustrating for me since, especially I lean towards, I don't want to say sharper sides, but usually the opposite of some of those big numbers with the big public teams are not sides that I'm typically interested in, and those have been getting to the window really for the first half of the season. So I'll be interested to see as we get into not only conference play but also some of the more quality conference games how that continues to shake out.
What do you think of old Willie boy going into Athens?
Should be fired. Oh,
No,
Willie.
no, yeah.
Muschamp.
No,
Yeah,
Will
I was listening
Taggart.
to that on the radio. They
forget it.
tried to give it away 1,000 times.
Well-
Missed the field goal at the end of regulation, puked a chip shot in overtime after getting an interception, and then I think the turnover battle was like 5-0. So, if you're South Carolina, candidly, if it's 5-0 in the turnovers, you should win. You're not that bad.
Well, the thing, they were playing with their third string quarterback for the entire second half.
And they didn't score.
That's
So
what
it was
I
all
mean. Is so it was-
Muschamp in the defense to
Yeah.
bow up. I don't know. I said it on a couple pods earlier. I think Georgia's overrated.
Yep.
I'm not surprised that they lost one of these games. I am surprised it's South Carolina, but
Carolina.
yeah, makes for an interesting matchup in the swamp or in Jacksonville in a couple weeks. That's
Makes
for
for
sure.
an interesting matchup this week in South Carolina as the Gators come to town. Ew.
Well, hopefully they lose because I have an under 9 ticket. That'd be nice. Really would have been nice for USC to beat Notre Dame too. That would have really helped me. It did
they were
cover.
They were coming, trying to backdoor.
I know.
And then Bama just boat raced A&M. But that's kind of all the major college football news, I guess, for us. There's really nothing else that.
Yeah, it's a good weekend of games.
I did dive in halftime while Carolina was still money line dog, so I got some good money line action with them. I just sat there and sweat the entire second half. It's brutal.
Yeah. Oh, do we want to talk Monday night?
That's what I was going to say next. Is now we can talk.
Yeah.
We can talk some Monday night football.
No,
Even though we
Scott's-
kind of
we know
did.
what Scott's got. We kind of did last
Yeah.
time.
Sticking on the Lions, love it. It's all the way down to 3.5. I'm rolling. The roar is restored with Detroit.
Do you feel like it's gotten too pricey? So I, as someone who does not have a position on this game, I feel like I'm going to be staying away at this
I'm
point.
genuinely surprised it's all the way down to 3.5. I'd prefer it at 4.
Well, because I think
Field goal
but
game.
is Lambeau? So is Lambeau, at least how I understand it from a Vegas perspective, Lambeau Field is one of the places in the NFL that's worth more than 3 points, like the stock 3. I think potentially even 4. So they're telling you that Detroit is better than Green Bay on a neutral, which I don't know. I don't know if I buy that.
Who's betting the Lions, though? I don't understand why it's moved so hard. They're not a public team at all. I mean, 64% of bets have been on the Packers, so it's got to be heavy, sharp money that's coming in on the Lions because Packers are as public as it gets, and they just showed out. So, this is one of those ones that just it kind of reeks, and I imagine people are going to look at Packers minus 3.5 and want to hammer it all day.
Yeah, I made it 6. I probably won't have a position based on everything that I just said about feeling stinky, and we'll be sweating Scotty's entries up. What is it? What's the contest line? It's 4.
It's +4 in the contest.
Okay.
Yep. And now we got looking ahead, a frisky Thursday nighter. Broncos hosting the Chiefs, and it's opened at. I don't want to ruin it for you, Jared, but it's opened at something that's pretty interesting for the Broncos as a team that can just pound the rock. And
Are the Broncos favored? Please do not say they're favored.
No, they're not favored.
I was about to start
it's-
moving money around to get down.
It's Broncos +4 at open. It's already down at 3.5. So that should be an interesting one because it could be another steady dose of Philip Lindsay. I mean, and the Broncos defense is now playing, lights out. I mean, they just owned the Titans today. It was just remarkable.
Is that at Mile High?
It is at Mile High.
Oh, hey, everyone get ready. Mahomes can throw a football 90 yards with the altitude. So just get ready for that. It's coming.
Check a pigskin quarter mile.
Yeah. Uncle Rico, not so good today, huh, Scott?
No, you've had better.
How are things in the fantasy league going? Any movement in the standings?
I think I'm in first place.
It's really tight. Hold on, I was actually just looking at it because I'm sneaking up. Had a good day, but who's still in first?
Yeah, I'm in first. 780. Putnami is the chaser at 772.
And then DeCarney 761, Nathan Crawford at 759, and then I'm at 755. So it's tight. It's tight.
Yep.
There you go. I mean, hey, I think that's pretty overall. I mean, Scott. So I guess where are we sitting standing wise for you right now? If you just want to say if you're okay with that, like kind of where are we sitting competition wise, record overall.
I haven't gone through after today where everyone shook out. I know that one of the 23-2 guys went 0-5.
There we go.
But another 23-2 guy went 3-1. And he has Steelers plus 6.5, and the Steelers are up 14-0. So I'm sure he's going to go 4-1.
Bala Bulldogs.
I was
defensive touchdown and like a 20-yard run.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Chargers are just shitting on themselves.
Shocker that an Anthony-led team is doing that. So I was 250th place going into this weekend. I'm sure I will be taking a hard fall back, but it looked like consensus got smoked this weekend. So I just have to go through the numbers.
Gotcha.
What was there consensus in one of the contests on both sides of one of the game?
In Circa, it was Seattle and Cleveland were both in the top 5.
That's what it was. Okay.
Baker Mayfield gets people juiced up.
I don't get it.
It's got to be Baker. It's not. I don't know. That was. That was one of the craziest line moves I saw today. Just up and down. Browns closed. People were declaring them winning way too early, and then Russell Wilson. Russell hustle and bustle. Just doing Russell Wilson things.
Just doing Russ things. Fellas, you got anything?
These guys 23-2, just clowning.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes when you're hot, you're hot. But what do we always say, Jared? The gambling gods are a fickle bunch.
They're fickle. Yeah, it's a tight.
Felt that this weekend.
What?
Yeah, the Circa. I'm to the point in Circa where it's going to be. I'm going to be playing for the quarter contest. Wrong side of coin flipping in Circa for me.
Just remember. For every action, there's an equal reaction. So you start off hot.
Equal and opposite reaction.
Sorry, I left out opposite. I apologize, everyone. I didn't mean it.
Well, I hope it's opposite because if it's just a repeat of what I've done the first 5 weeks, that ain't no good.
It's true. It is true. But hey, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Pigskin Junkies. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I'm Mike Larson. That's the big brother, Jared Larson, and that is Scott Panza. We are out of here, junkies.
See ya.
Bye.